All right, everyone, you know how Joe Biden was the vice president once under Barack Obama and was his best friend and their bosom buddies and had a great time together? I actually think that their friendship in the non-political capacity was real, at least to the extent that really rich out there weirdos can have a real friendship, based on some degree of camaraderie. It is a high-stress job and stuff. But Obama seems very, very much reluctant to endorse Joe Biden. Like, he's almost, if you look, Obama's almost silent in U.S. politics right now, and I got to thinking about this. Joe Biden has been the consistent front runner since before he got into the race. He's got the corporate backing. He's got the tacit backing of most of the corporate structure of the party, the neoliberals. He's got every possible advantage. His opponents are all morons, basically. Most of them are very far left and unelectable. Obama knows this. He's not. Obama got called socialistic. He's not. He's a welfare Democrat, a corporate welfare Democrat, that is. And so he's not really that out there economically. He's just a sellout, a corporate lackey. And the thing is, Obama should be endorsing him by now. Like, there's no legitimate reason why he wouldn't. I mean, if he were to get Obama's endorsement, he'd be a shoo-in for the nomination anyway. His approval would rise 5 points within the Dem Party overnight. It wouldn't matter whether he did well at the debates or not. He'd go on to sweep every state. That would empower him a little bit. If it looks like the Democrats are solidified behind the candidate, even if the far left whines, the optics of it would be far better during the election. Obama, though, is sitting it out, and here's what I think. I think that Obama thinks that Biden can't win. I honestly think that it's about electability. Obama does not want to hitch himself to a horse that he thinks won't cross the finish line. Obama is worried, I think, primarily about his age, possibly about his gaffe-prone nature, possibly about the Me Too thing. There was another video of Biden kissing his granddaughter, I guess it's claimed is this girl, the other day that I saw. And I made sort of a sarcastic remark about him, if it was his granddaughter or something like that, I think. But I mean, Joe Biden's got the worst optics of any of the candidates there, other than maybe Beto O'Rourke, who's, by the way, he's slipped down to about half a point. He's down at the bottom of the heap now. He's joined the other people who have become permanently non-viable. The group of people that's viable now is 6 people. Cory Booker rounds them out because he's almost at 2%. But is he really viable? No, not really. Is Buttigieg viable? Decreasingly. Is Harris viable? She's got enough support to play spoiler, namely to get Biden nominated because she's leeching 10 to 15 points of support away from Warren and Sanders. Funnily, even if she stopped existing, if you added all of her support to Warren's, it would still only be on a really good day for Warren and a really bad day for Biden that their roles would reverse. I don't know what the point is. There's almost no point to continuing the primary. All that's going to happen is the Democrats are going to beat each other over the head. Obama could literally end them tomorrow by endorsing Joe Biden. Or he could end Joe Biden's career by choosing to endorse someone else, laying waste to Biden in the process and destroying his coalition, which is half made up of nostalgic Obama voters. Obama's the kingmaker right now, and he refuses to king anyone. Or queen, though. It's very, very interesting how that's happening. Part of me believes it's because he's more reserved. He has, admittedly, he's been a better former president than he was a president because he's shut up completely. He doesn't talk about anything. He just wants to live his life. I can actually I can respect that. George W., by the way, ironically doing the same thing. Although in George W.'s case is because everyone fucking hated him. In Obama's case, his support was more middling, at least among Democrats, very popular. But the natural inclination is, hey, I'm going to write a bunch of books, and maybe I'll run for a different office, like become a mayor or something. Be fun. I can wine and dine and mill around with these other people. And instead, he, other than a few speeches and fundraisers for the most part, he sits there in Hawaii and he just golfs and eats pineapple. Okay, better for the country with him in Hawaii than in D.C. Although I think he got a house in D.C. so that he could keep doing his Netflix propaganda and stuff. He's more of a behind-the-scenes kind of dude. I think he got tired of the limelight. But the fact that he hasn't endorsed Joe Biden, who is just shy of a shoo-in, especially with that endorsement, that should surprise people. You'd think that he'd say, well, I was Barack's VP for 8 years, and yeah, I'm kind of expecting the endorsement of the dude I fucking served directly under. Had he been knocked off or he gets the pneumonia or something, I would have been acting president. So fucking, at some point, Barack has to belly up to the bar. But he's not willing to. He's forcing Biden to go through the process alone. Yeah, so much for those friendship bands or whatever they had there. The best friends forever. Oh, it was so cringy at the time. I can just imagine them actually physically making them too. Like, oh, yeah, Sasha just got this new thing. It's like, all the kids have it nowadays. You make customized bracelets with the names of your friends. Oh, can we have them, Brock? Yes, Joe, we can have them. My goodness. Poor Joe can't even get an endorsement from the dude he worked with for almost a decade. And he does, as far as political credibility, like experience, Biden has them all beat by such a huge margin. It's been in politics, him and Sanders are the long-term politicians in there. But the Democratic field is so messed up that Marianne Williamson looks sane. And then people were calling Tulsi Gabbard mommy and like weird shit like that. And then Yang comes out with UBI and all this fucking stupid shit that these people can't even explain. Joe Biden can't even beat this field of miscreants. Self-proclaimed socialist, woman who lied about her ethnicity for 50 years in order to get favorable treatment. A former overzealous prosecutor who ripped apart black families. A dude who's not even 40 yet and has his own problems and is arguably the most viable challenger that Biden has. And he still can't get Obama's endorsement? What a fucking loser. The other point is maybe, and this is possible, maybe the DNC is leaning on Obama. That would be evidence that they're trying to schlong Joe Biden and get a Warren probably or Harris or something in there. Some people have talked about a Harris-Buttigieg ticket. The problem is Harris is quickly losing viability. And so is Buttigieg. Buttigieg would be, maybe a go-to guy for a VP slot. Yeah, that's true. But Harris, she could not be as easy. I don't think she would make a good VP if she continues to falter. The problem is that the number of people with recognition and support is declining to 4 people and possibly even 3. It's basically a 3-way race at the moment. You've got Joe Biden versus Warren and Sanders, who are roughly tied, and they're hashing it out for the far left vote. As long as they both remain in, especially if Kamala Harris is there, through the primaries, at least through the early states, Joe Biden wins by default in probably what amounts to a primary landslide in some of these states. He knocks off Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire. He knocks off Elizabeth Warren in Nevada. He knocks off Kamala Harris in South Carolina. By the end of those 4 states, he becomes a shoo-in for the nomination unless there's some superdelegate shenanigans or a health crisis or a major scandal, which could happen. Did Biden ever fly with Epstein? I don't think he did, which is actually hilarious and ironic to me. That's about all. Peace out.